2, 1.
Reena, welcome back to Class in Session.
Thank you.
What does investing in global markets mean?
Straight in, eh? Deep dive. First ask me, how are you? How have you been since we last saw each other?
It's Class in Session.
Thank you for having me back. Thank you for having me back,
Yes.
Richie. And yes, we're talking about global markets.
Yes,
And
but first and foremost, you promised to come back.
I did.
And you said that you would come back when you're ready with something. So I'm excited that you're back because I think that you're ready with something.
Yeah.
But also I think that you're about to demystify and introduce us to a whole different understanding and way of investing.
Absolutely.
It's why I started with a wonderful first question. This is a Class in Session on investing in global markets. So it's only right for me to start with that question. What is investing in global markets?
So investing in global markets is very simple. It just means investing in other markets outside of your country and also your own country. So if you're in Kenya, for example, you invest in Kenya, you can invest in Tanzania, you can invest in the US, in Australia, and in different asset classes in those different markets. So it's not just investing in one jurisdiction, it's investing in different markets, in different products. Yes, as well as your own country.
So is this something that is popular within the financial markets in Kenya?
So it's gaining in popularity. I think we've seen, with a lot of these digital assets, like cryptocurrency, there's been a lot of growth and knowledge and people understanding that I can invest in other things other than, land or the stock market in Kenya. And so there's been an awareness about the different opportunities that are there. The only challenge with global investing is, as you can imagine, Richie, everybody is busy in their jobs or businesses and don't have time to evaluate the different opportunities that potentially exist in all the different kind of countries that are there, and how to take advantage of them, when to sell, when to buy, and so on. And so while the awareness has grown, people have heard of global different assets like exchange traded funds, they've heard of commodities, they've heard of precious metals and different kinds of opportunities. I wouldn't say it's popular in the sense of actual investing, because the way of investing has not been easy for many people.
Okay.
Because of access, how do I access? Where do I open an account? How do I do that? How much money can I invest in? And so on and so forth. It's been quite complex. And even just making the decision of what do I invest in, it's been very difficult. But we've made that easy for people. And I'll be explaining that in a short while.
Okay. I know we've done the Playhouse. You've come to the Playhouse, you've come to Class in Session before, and you're going to keep coming to Class in Session because this is very educational. But just give us a little bit about who is Reena and what does Reena do, in case this is the first time somebody's watching this video and getting to meet you.
Okay.
From a professional standpoint, tell us what your role is and why is it then, because I know you, but why then are you the authority to speak about this?
Okay. So my name is Rina Hicks. I head operations in a company called Faida Investment Bank. And Faida Investment Bank is a Kenyan-owned investment bank that's 30 years old, is licensed by a regulator called the Capital Markets Authority. We're members of the Nairobi Securities Exchange in Kenya. We deal in very many different asset classes within the financial services market, but not just in Kenya. We also have an associated company in Rwanda called Faida Securities Rwanda. Our chairman has been the vice chairman of the Nairobi Securities Exchange for a long time. He's the immediate past vice chairman, was there for 9 years. He's the current chairman of the Rwanda Stock Exchange. As a firm, we've helped the regional capital markets. We helped South Sudan figure out their capital markets. We helped Uganda as well setting up their capital markets. Our team we were the first broker that was licensed in Rwanda.
Wow.
And so where capital markets is concerned, especially in the region, we've done quite a lot, have been involved in so many transactions. So what does an investment bank do? I hear somebody asking, so what, is it just shares that you buy and sell? No. We trade in financial assets. Those are the stock market or shares. We trade in bonds. We help to facilitate the trading of selling of treasury bills by the government. We also help companies raise capital. So if there's a company that's out there that has a good business that's looking to raise money to be able to support its working capital or to expand, we help them raise capital. We also help with takeovers and mergers. So if there's companies that they've identified a potential target, they want to take over that business, we help with that process, getting the licenses that are needed and so on. But over and above that, we connect investors to opportunities, meaning we're constantly seeking great investment opportunities that investors can take advantage of. And investors from little children and, with joint accounts with their parents, all the way to very wealthy, high net worth, to pension funds, insurance companies, we deal with everybody. And so we, help to connect those investment opportunities that are of so many different kinds: fixed income investments, stocks, global assets and investments, things we call derivatives of all kinds. So that's who we are. That's who I am. I'm also very passionate about financial literacy, as you very well know. Some people may know me from MoneyWise. And MoneyWise has just been a pet project. Just one of those things that you kind of do because you want people to be financially literate.
I love it.
Yeah, so that's who I am. I'm an author. I'm a certified coach. And of course, I'm at Faida.
And you're a speaker.
And I'm a speaker.
Yep.
I am a speaker.
Okay. Now that we've got to understand this whole context, and again, I'm going to ask the question. I just wanted to sort of, in as layman as possible, sort of begin painting context to the conversation that we're going to have. So I will ask the question again, and I know I've already asked it, but I want you to then repeat it, especially in the context of explaining the history of Faida and who you are. Okay. So then, what is investing again in global markets? You say it is?
Investing in global markets is simply investing in more than your own country. So investing in other markets around the world, seeking to diversify. So diversify meaning you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket. You want to take advantage of getting higher returns in other markets when your market is perhaps not doing well. You want to get higher returns, or you want to hedge against risk. So for example, the other day I was looking at just the Kenyan currency. Did you know 10 years back in 2014, a time like now, the exchange rate, Kenya shilling versus the US dollar, was 89 shillings.
Wow.
Yes, 10 years ago. Right now, it is at 129.
Wow.
Last year, 2023, it was 150. On average, the Kenya shilling has depreciated. This is on average. Of course, it's been a little bit like this, right? But on average, it's like 3 to 4% depreciation. And it's not unique to Kenya. India has depreciated, the rupee has depreciated on average over that same period by 2%. And so the point is that against hard currencies, most emerging markets, the currency depreciation is there. It is a fact of life. And so you have to also find ways to, diversify and hedge so that you can hedge against your own local currency. Because what typically happens is when you're a net importer, we are as Kenya, we're a net importer. You find that when your shilling or your kwacha or your naira is depreciating against a hard currency, it becomes more expensive to live. Inflation goes up. Why? Fuel is going up. The products that you like cornflakes, and I don't know what people like to buy that is not locally manufactured, is going up. And so because of that, then life becomes more expensive. Now, if you don't invest to hedge against the local currency depreciating, then you will not be able to afford to do the kind of things that you're doing right now. And so it's a way to invest so that you protect the value of the money that you're earning. If you don't ever do that, then you become poorer over time, even if your shilling is okay. Do you understand what I mean?
Completely.
If you had $1 in your drawer.
Shilling.
Yep. From 2014, it would have been worth 89 bob. Today, you'd go to the bank and get 129 without investing that dollar, right? So if you can invest that dollar or that euro or that British pound, then you earn more than you would have. So I used to think a long time ago, I'd be like, invest in Kenya. Our returns are so nice. They're so good. And really they are. But when you look at it from an inflation-adjusted perspective and also from a currency-adjusted perspective, you realize we're actually not doing that well. Imagine if you invested in the naira, that has depreciated significantly. In 3 years, it depreciated by 89%.
89?
Yes. So that's why you have to think about markets beyond your own.
Wow.
Look at Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Where inflation went up to 1,000%. It's insane. So you can't just invest in your own country.
Man, love it. I love the introduction of what you've said. And I also like that you have made it very clear that when you talk about investing in global markets, you also include your own country in that conversation. Absolutely. So it is not an exclusion of your own country, but an expansion of thinking just beyond your own borders. I've heard you throw this word out, and I'm going to my second question now. I've heard you throw the word returns out a lot.
Okay.
And therefore, I want to ask, in my opinion, a very controversial one, but it is important that I then ask, because the audience is also thinking the same thing. When people say guaranteed returns, is that an honest statement? What does that mean? Explain what guaranteed returns are.